I'm Tim of Govberg, and welcome to the world of Vacheron Constantin. Today we discuss the proper usage and care of the Vacheron Constantin Quai de L'ile in stainless steel. It's important to note that this automatic winding watch can be wound manually. By turning the crown in its position flush to the case approximately 20 times, the timepiece will start to beat. The action of the seconds hand and the beat of the balance attests to the operation of the watch. In order to fully energize the 60-hour power reserve of this caliber 5100 movement, the watch can either be worn on the wrist, at which point the natural action of the winding rotor on the case back will ensure that the watch is fully energized, or the timepiece can be wound continuously until the subtle slip of the mainspring bridle is felt. It is impossible to overwound an automatic winding timepiece either by manual or automatic means, as the mainspring bridle will simply slip at the point of overcapacity. Before using the second crown position to activate the date quickset mechanism, ensure that the watch is not between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. This is the period when the date jumper, the automatic date jumper, is actually engaged in a continuous process of changing over the date. Should the watch be manually swapped from date to date during this changeover, it can damage the mechanism. So it's always imperative to advance beyond the 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. danger zone prior to manually setting the date. Once past the danger zone, turn the crown in clockwise action to rapidly cycle the index radially around the date disc at center. Finally, to set the watch, withdraw the crown to the third position and turn clockwise until the desired time is attained. Vacheron Constantin rates the Quai de L'ile family for 3 atm of water resistance. 3 atm, according to the manufacturer, is sufficient for resistance to rain and splash exposure, and no watch rated at 3 atm should ever be subjected to submergence, swimming, or bathing. It's important that the crown never be actuated when water is present. If water is physically present on the crown and it is either wound or displaced or used for any of the setting functions, that moisture can bypass the seals and be introduced into the interior of the watch. It is critical that if water is ever observed within the watch, the timepiece be taken immediately to a Vacheron Constantin authorized service center to prevent catastrophic corrosion of the dial and the movement. Vacheron Constantin, moreover, recommends annual water testing of the timepiece to ensure that the factory-rated hermeticity remains intact. Regardless of the water resistance rating of any timepiece, it's important to note that leather straps are not water resistant in any respect, and exposure to moisture can rapidly degrade the material. Should the leather strap ever become moist or wet, immediately dry it with a soft, dry cloth to ensure its longevity. Vacheron Constantin recommends servicing the timepiece approximately every 4 to 5 years. It's critical to only service the timepiece with authorized factory dealers, boutiques, or service centers, because these agencies alone have the proper equipment, trained personnel, and original factory replacement parts to maintain the physical and investment integrity of your timepiece. It's also important to service with a factory authority because the work performed will be protected by an after-service warranty issued with the full force of the factory. Finally, should the timepiece ever be exposed to extreme magnetic fields, such as those created by strong permanent magnets, many types of speakers, high-powered wiring looms, or magnetic resonance imaging equipment, take the watch magnetized to the Vacheron Constantin Authorized Service Center, where specialized equipment is available to demagnetize the hairspring and restore the chronometric performance of your timepiece. Learn more about the use and care of this Vacheron Constantin Quai de L'ile and the entire Vacheron Constantin family of watches on the company's homepage, vacheronconstantin.com.